My wife and I and our two children, ages 5 and 2, are just back from a week-long holiday around the south of Ireland in this Volkswagen camper behind me here. So how did we get on? This turned out to be a longer trip than we were initially expecting. We actually intended for it to be maybe 3 or 4 days long, but it was going well, so we decided to stick with it, and it ended up being 7 days long. So it was just before the August bank holiday, and what we did was we loaded up the van and just basically got ourselves on the road. Now, what I want to do now is I want to empty out the van in its entirety, get every last scrap of stuff out of this van and figure out just how much stuff we were carting around, because it was ridiculous, to be honest with you, and we want to actually go through it all and see what we needed and what we didn't need. So I'm going to load it up all onto this table and on the ground behind me here as well, and we're going to see, and then we're going to try and thin it all out and find out what we needed and what we didn't need. But wait, there's more! Genuinely, we're not even finished now, and as time goes on, I'm looking more and more exasperated as to how much stuff we've been carting around the country. This is absolutely insane. I mean, it looks like an explosion in a car boot sale. So, yeah, we still have to do the food presses, to do other storage areas inside the van and that as well. And what we need to do is we need to thin this out to a manageable amount, because bloody hell. One thing I will say is I'm actually curious to drive it after all this and see if all of this weight removal actually makes a difference to the performance of the van, because it goes along okay, but it's a bit dead, let's just say, and motorway hills tend to drag it down a bit, but yeah, it's hardly surprising. I mean, there's about 400 kilos worth of stuff here, I'd say, at this stage. Now, there we go. This is ludicrous. This is all the stuff that we were dragging around with us as we were driving down around Cork and Waterford in the south of Ireland. In there. And there was the 4 of us as well, of course. The other fella's in the van, he's playing with the steering wheel. Not a word of a lie, the suspension on the van is actually sitting a little bit higher after clearing it all out. It was nearly like camper van buckaroo, as if we put one more thing in, the van was just going to tip it all out on the ground and say, right, you're on your own, good luck to you. So, against all odds, we actually did make it work, and we basically got ourselves into a bit of a routine after a short period of time. We actually had the 2 lads sleeping up in the high top. Our 2-year-old little fella was up here in the front, and we had these safety first baby gates up, which did actually prove to be fantastic. And then the eldest fella, who's 5, slept in here widthways, and we had a little bed made up for him in there as well. So that worked out okay as far as sleeping arrangements goes. During the day, what we did was we put a lot of stuff in the high top. Their bedding, their bags, that kind of stuff went up to the top. And then we had the stuff that belonged to us in behind the bench seat in the back. So that was all the bedding that went there. And in various cubby holes around the van, we had an assorted array of detritus. So we kept our camping stove in there because, to be honest with you, we don't use that stove too often because the price of the gas for it is ludicrous. So we used the cartridge type stove and we just store it in there. We had our food in the fridge, cutlery, pots and pans, dishes, everything like that went in there. And I found a whole load of stuff in there that I forgot was even in there, like I said, jump leads and tyre foam and all that jazz. Food would go in there, and then there was cleaning materials would go in there, and then you can see the gas bottle down below as well. This is a stupid setup of a space, this here. So you'd want to have someone holding onto your ankles to get down to where the gas bottle actually is, and there's such a waste of space because that goes right down in there too. So that's one of the big problems here. And then you also have this cavern here, which is also full of junk. So there's I'd keep tools in underneath. There's like a false floor in there, which we'd put stuff in, and then there was everything from car jack, bucket and spades, electrical hookup lead, shoes, heater, as Aoife says, and then there was more junk up there. Right, so at this point after the week-long trip, what we want to do is we actually want to try and figure out what it is we need and what we don't need. And there is a serious amount of stuff we don't need. And what we do need, can we downscale, and what can we do to make it more efficient? So we're open to suggestions on that. Stick your comments below and let us know what your thoughts are and how you think we could actually make better use of this camper van interior, and what we could do to make it a little bit more comfortable for ourselves as well, because it is literally, unless you have a routine in place, trying to actually kind of figure out where everything goes. I mean, the other thing as well we would do is we'd dump a load of stuff into the front seats as well, and then there'd be stuff to be left underneath the van as well, like the likes of our camping chairs, which are normally stored underneath, the seat I'm now sitting on, and the bike as well would be left outside, and the buggy would be left outside sometimes as well, depending on where we were staying. So
and it all depends as well. Like, say for example, like in the evening times, if I was doing dinner or whatever, you bring them up to a playground, but that's if there's a playground nearby. But like if there isn't, then you're trying to get them out of the van, because you can't be cooking dinner and have the boys here. And if it's raining, like, it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
so it's really kind of like, we also have to contend with Irish weather. Obviously we were very blessed with the week that we were away, but you can't always be guaranteed on the weather that it is going to be good. But it's just kind of like we have to pack for all weathers. So there's a huge pile of clothes, then you have wellies and you have rain jackets and everything. But it's also, it's trying to figure out what we definitely do need, that as well, that we don't have to spend like hours. We were meant to leave on a Friday, and we didn't leave till Saturday, and then we didn't get down till nearly 9 o'clock.
Yeah, and the two of us were up to here by the time we actually did get on the road, to be honest with you.
So it's like, lately we want to kind of have like a load of stuff that's living in the van, or we have in a box. Like, we've got the bedding stuff all sorted, that we know what our bedding stuff is, that we can literally just have that aside and we just put it in. But like, there's other bits and pieces that we're going to need that, what are the essentials? You think we'd know after nearly 13 years of owning this van, but when we used to do it as a couple, before the two boys, it was completely different. We used to have the high top as our storage, and sure, it didn't matter. But now they're the boys' beds. So, like, during the night time, we can't throw our bags up there because they can't sleep with them.
But even then, to be honest with you, even back when it was just myself and Aoife before the lads arrived, we even then had too much stuff in the van, in my mind. Like, we were always lugging around a huge amount of stuff. Now, he's fine, look, in fairness, the leisure battery's dead at this stage, one way or another we're home. And this little fella, Fiddle Fingers, here beside me, is adamant to flip every bleeding switch. Isn't that right, Fionn?
So there's another thing, covers, trying to make it somewhat baby proof.
Baby proof in a camper van is a nightmare. I mean, the thing about it is, you have people coming in, rolling in beside you in motorhomes and all of this as well, and they've got an infinite amount of space. This is like the TARDIS. I still cannot figure out how we fit all of that stuff in, and actually even had room to sit into the driver's seat, least of all anything else. But like, the amount of weight that this machine has been lugging around, and I know for a fact that this camping interior weighs a ton, because myself and Aoife lifted it out at one stage. Will you stop fiddling with the microphone? It's turned off, but you'll have it turned on soon enough, wouldn't you?
Watch your head.
The thing is the train of thought just
The
completely
camper van
derailed.
interior, or a camper van interior.
Yeah, the weight of the
basically.
camper van interior itself. We had to take the main unit out as well when we were getting the bodywork done to allow for welding and stuff like that, which unfortunately it's going to need again soon enough. There's a bit of welding to be done on it.
And paint up the units and everything.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, in my mind, I was thinking of two solutions. One is refit the interior and do something that makes better use of the space in the van, limited as it is. So scale everything down, make the bed itself wider, get rid of those cavernous spaces like where the gas bottle is, get rid of the space there beside the bed where it just collects junk. And I was also thinking of building a teardrop caravan, which is another project that is on the back burner for me, but something that I would actually like to do, especially when the two lads are older and they want a little bit of space of their own, but they still want to come on the camping trips. So yeah, write your thoughts on a postcard, please, or ideally if you want to stick them in the comments below and let us know what you think. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to start loading up the van, and we are going to start kind of thinning everything out and seeing what we need and what we don't need, and kind of working our way back from there with everything fresh in our mind as to what we have actually used over the trip and what we never even touched or looked at. So yeah, so what we'll do is we'll pick that up in another video and show you exactly what. I know. You want to fiddle with my camera, don't you? Because it's got a little twiddly bit on the top as well, which would be great fun for you to play with all together. But you're not touching it because it wouldn't end well for anybody involved.
But yeah, when we were away on the when we were away on the trip, we were kind of discussing, like, we were talking to other couples who have like done camping trips and whatever, but a lot of families have motorhomes. Again, we're not in a motorhome, so we're looking kind of for ideas for people who use camper vans, a T25, a bay, a splitty, basically this sort of size. Obviously if you have the likes of a Ace or something like that, that's
T4s, T5s, all of them as well, same thing.
Exactly. Doesn't have to be. It's alright.
Ideally Volkswagen campers, because it's kind of a similar layout. And if you have a leisure drive T3 like this is a leisure drive interior, by the way, and it's one of the worst of the interiors that I've seen, to be honest with you.
Gentle.
But it's what we got.
Yeah.
So absolutely what we want to hear is your opinions on what you guys do. So wrapping things up. Owen, what did you think of the holiday? Did you have fun?
Yeah.
And what was your favourite thing about it?
Actually, I love the swirly slide.
Oh, the swirly sliding cove.
Oh yeah, the playground, yeah. We
Oh,
found a fantastic
my
area down in
God.
Cove, actually. It was really good.
One up, down, down.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Loved
All
it.
day.
Yeah.
Only all day.
Yeah.
I went to that playground, even single.
Yeah.
Like,
So playgrounds are a big hit, and Photo Wildlife Park, big hit. We also saw the dog we used to have, Rodney, who was rehomed in Cork, which you will have seen in a previous video if you follow my channel. So we made a trip a couple of years ago and we had to rehome him down in Cork, so we went and paid him a visit as well, and he's doing great, which is fantastic.
and the one thing is, maybe he actually got somewhere else.
He did. He got somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what he normally has to do?
What?
He just normally comes into the house, dies on the couch, and then that's it. Get out of here. Onto the road. Get squashed.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Well, we don't want that happening, do we? No. So anyway, right. So that was So camping trip, big success. But the amount of stuff we were carting around, not so much. So we definitely need to make better use of this camper van and better use of the space involved in it, and we need to figure that all out. So yeah, you guys can certainly help. So please do hit the subscribe button before you go, and we'll keep you updated with how we go with this camper van, and I have a few other things on the go as well. So I will chat to you soon. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.